So, this is Hearts of Iron 4, not mod. And let's try my nation, which I think that's when played quite often. Turkey. How to play Turkey. It's interesting to play Turkey because, well, you have these annoying debuffs, you have occupation territory because of Kurdistan and the rebels. And you need to make sure that they actually rebel. Yes, rebel. Now do the opposite, but make sure they rebel. Because otherwise they have this virus debuffs which you will need to use then after this when you go through whatever path you desire. You will need to basically in here you need to make sure that you have something like 70% compliance, which you won't be able to get because resistance target or and basically there is this debuff which you will have, and there the resistance basically cannot be there. Well, at minimum levels of like below 30%, which is impossible if you don't do this way. So you need to make sure that they rebel actually, and then it'll basically kill some cards. Yes, kill cards. Typical Turkish tradition. Well, alright, of course I'm not supporting such a fact. In fact, it's basically necessary to play. Which should I play? Go democratic or this doesn't matter. What is matters? Well, you can go and go left side and go to the democratic and basically go for Ottoman Empire, which would mean basically you would have to accept DK, which is basically like a Democrat Party and some sort of religiously influenced folks, let's just say. And they would basically become dominant and have problems with Kemal suffrages. This modifier doesn't matter really. It will matter this. They will have some points and you will need to basically make sure that you will win the civil war, which is pretty easy. I'll show you how to do it in our on normal difficulty, because elite basically means you research much slower, well built equipment much slower, and there are 9 debuffs, which I think is basically just makes the game artificial difficult. And artificial difficulty is nonsensical because you already have difficulty of basically microing, and you don't need to really know this. You need to go left, which makes no sense. Going democratic just to go monarchist. Well, it makes sense in other. Like, well, not really. It basically is just a decision for a civil war. This needs to become a democracy first, a full-on democracy. And here you can go. You know what I mean. If you played Hardline, or you will know what I mean. You can go for fucking HRE. Yes, HRE in 1938 or some shit like that. 48 in 2 years. Using some exploits and broken mechanics. Of the fact that you can just puppet the nation like Luxembourg, give it all of your simply stuff like tanks and guns, and basically annex it for 300 PP political power, and just get all of its back. And then you can just treat it as a puppet again. It had that equipment, and you would just basically create equipment out of thin air through annexation, just for 300 PP political power. Political power, yes. What can I speak today? Because I'm not experienced with recording stuff. I just a couple of times And going democratic, yes, that's the boring path, the worst path. I thought of Turkey being democratic fun. I think Greece needs to go democratic to go Byzantine fascist, I think. Yes, Byzantine fascist of E, but you can go fascist through this route. Basically, it doesn't matter which you want to go fascist. I think this is better because you get the this is buff, which is political power plus 15%. But the late game during the game is a meaningless modifier because then PP becomes meaningless because PP you use for conscription, economy law, and you need it mostly early to mid on or middle, especially for US in multiplayer. But if you can just you want to play with US in its full power, you go for continue the New Deal, suspend the persecution, then you just get the communist revolutionary, get the union, then get this, get this, get this, then you get this, and then you just get this, the revolutionary gone, and then you get this, and then you get this, and you will simply then they do this, and you have 2 million something manpower already, and it's 1937 late, and you have all the debuffs gone, all of them. Effectively outside of the isolationist economy, which is easy to fix, and it's like you get to the war, and you only need to basically guarantee someone, or you need to go for decision again at the war with Japan, and you basically have 1938 or something like that, US, which is fully mobilized, which is nonsense. But it's fucking possible in this game if you can just maximize it. And Japan doesn't go communist or some shit like that. Yes. I need to make sure. And then the republicanism, this the correct choice. Yes, this is correct. Make sure you get this and this. Cooperate with the council. That's extremely important. Reasons because you need to get the this is the correct answer. The reason why I did that was simple. I need to have the yes, nice. Yes, this is good enough. Because basically I am one. Yes. Why didn't I create more troops? Well, because of this, you don't have really aluminum or steel. You have only chromium. And you would need to go down. And I cannot go early down because you need to get this guy, which will give you some, well, not really, but you need to get rid of this that council, which is stifling and gives you basically 100% of everything. Yes, because 80 plus 30 is more. So 10, and basically Democratic Party, cooperate with Debt Council. See, you get the buff immediately. And you have more political power. Yes. Should this gives you the buff for motorized, which means you get some tanks and basically in the motorized in there basically you have better divisions until if you decide this, which is Y for 5% soft attack. You only would use it when you would go for this number here. Yes, modern 6 BL artillery. Yes, that would be the correct choice. Here you go. See? Oh. Ooh. Where are you? Oh, here it is. 1, 2. Done. And by the 188, you get this skull. And you will have some stuff. Yeah. How close are we to? Oh, already? 80? No, 90. I forgot. Doesn't matter. You need to make it so that it does repel. Some people say that this is better because you get the retention and more retention and more in basically the growth, and then the faster it will adapt to the production cap. But that's not exactly how it works. The left one is better actually in any regard again because you go for 1949 just you go for something like Germany or Soviet Union. The one is better for that, generally speaking. But you can argue against that that the left one is better because ultimately the left one is the superior option. Why do I do this mobile warfare? Because delay tactic is better. Despite the fact that you get a 10% attack boost, that could this number doesn't really this should make it better in defense. But you need to have reinforced rate, and that is one of the most important things. Reinforced rate, basically how quickly their troops basically go into battle that is already happening. So yeah, that is the more important stuff in my opinion. Yeah, well, there is an argument for this being better. It is in multiplayer. And single player, you go there. No, this route generally. But I do go this route because of the breakthrough. And if you have powerful tank, well, let me show you this number 84. This makes this tank, these two doctrines, these two things make it basically that it takes something like 25% less damage against the same tank, which is some shit. Which is some its own attack. It makes it basically on attack pretty much invincible. 1-1-1 ratio. The same division if it has tanks. Which makes no sense. That makes sense. Because the buffs are there. And nobody just notices this. Because it says, oh, you have here more recovery rate. Oh, and some max speed. Max speed? This wasn't max speed. I remember this being different. I think that was max speed. I forgot. Yes, organization 10. That's not really important. Organization. You get the organization here. Yeah, not really. You get less here, but you get better recovery rate for tanks, which is important. And basically, the flat is better because it has low recovery rating, so it's better this one for a longer time. This is shorter because motorized and mechanized. It depends upon how you structure divisions, but later you realize that basically tanks are superior. And that should be reset. You win. Wait a second. And oh yeah, I should do this. And yeah, civil no oversight, that's alright. I'll block autonomy because that will be gone. Why not go to second war for this run if you want to have? Yeah, I need to get rid of camels so I don't have to bother. So this, Kurdistan, and mobile. Yeah, and after that, Intel can go for. Yeah, I'll go for 20. Yeah, that's nice. You need to go 2 times, take all states. There you go. And now you all have this. No more that nonsense. Finish this, go here, go there, there, and there. And then have Civil War. So, let's see if you this video gets some likes.